We've dropped the word trust here and there. Let's take a little closer look at what it's all about. And you don't really have to learn a lot about trust for the MTA that we're working toward here. But I want to show you a little bit more than you need to know, just so that you have a kind of a feel for what we're talking about. There are a couple of kinds of these. There are automatic trusts and manual trusts. An automatic trust is set up automatically when I create a child domain, when I create another domain in a forest. We have two-way transitive trusts, which means that anywhere to anywhere, that's what the transitive means, and that it goes both ways. So in other words, users can be given permissions to something in a completely different domain in the forest, or the parent domain or the child domain, and so on. Those are all automatic. And then we have manual ones. Now, I'll show you a little bit of the manual trust setup, although we won't look at it in detail. I'm going to go to Tools and then Active Directory Domains and Trusts. And here I have my domain. Now, I don't have another domain set up or even another forest set up that I could create a trust against, but we can at least look at some of the options here. So I'm going to right click on here and go to Properties and then go to Trusts, the Trust tab. We'll click New Trust. Now, this is how I would set up a manual trust relationship. And you can see it can be a Windows domain, it can be a Kerberos trust that is non-Windows. In other words, this could be a Linux Kerberos system. It can be another forest altogether. So I have various options. It can be an older version of a Windows server, an NT. So let's click Next, and let's say that I want to set up a trust with another company altogether. I'll call it supply.local. Let's say that this is a supplier of mine, and I want a trust relationship because I want this other company to be able to look at, say, my inventory and automatically trigger an order when I need more inventory. Okay, so this is not in my own forest, this is in somebody else's forest. I'll click Next, and if it ever comes up here in a moment, we should see Realm Trust or Windows domain. So Realm Trust would be those non-Windows types of Active Directories. Kerberos servers, for example, that are set up in Linux. Or it could be a Windows domain. So I'll click Next again, and we can see a non-transitive or transitive. And if you try to read these, you'll probably be confused. Basically what they mean is a transitive trust means that children and parent domains are also included. Non-transitive means it's just from one domain to the other, so domain to domain, and the transitive would mean forest to forest, so to speak. It can be two-way, one-way. You know, I may not want, my supplier may not want me able to log on to its computers, but I want my supplier to be able to log on to mine. So I could make it a one-way incoming or one-way outgoing or two-way. So I can have two-way transitive, two-way non-transitive, one-way transitive, one-way non-transitive, and so on. So there you go. And then we would have to set up our usernames and passwords. So you can see we have lots of options in the way we set up our trusts when we set up manual trusts. But primarily, most of our trust relationships are going to be automatic within our domains and our forest.